So now let's welcome our guest speaker, a certified nutrition and fitness expert, Miss Hafiza Fatima. Let's all give her a warm welcome. Yes, Miss Hafiza Fatima.
Assalamualaikum to you all.
Walaikum assalam.
Namaste
Walaikum
and
assalam.
good afternoon to everybody. And what a fabulous job by Alia Baji. She did such great breathing exercises. And then Radia, oh, wow, hats off to you. A very good quiz. So having said that, I can say our audience is very, very, very well informed. So what we'll do here is the topic is the importance of nutrition in fat loss and of course our energy levels. And I'll give a short presentation and I'll walk you through the few slides, but most of you seem to know most of these things. But we'll walk quickly through the slides and then we can have a question and answer session. So more about me, I have multiple certifications from Neptune, from IIM New York as a gut health coach, and also from Shaw Academy. And I've written 2 books. Let me share my screen. So that's one of my books that's available on Amazon. Okay. And then I have written 2 books, basically. Nutrition Simplified. This is also available on Amazon. And then I have a course on Udemy, the easiest way to lose weight. And this is my YouTube channel. It's at HN Fatima. Like if you go, let me share my, yeah. So you can see that I had to lose 20 kgs, in fact, 22 kgs myself in order to, realize that nutrition is such a wonderful thing and I should also help others. What I've learned, getting my certifications so that I get a deeper understanding of this and bring awareness among people. So having said that, like, I guess you guys will understand that somebody who's lost weight, something as much as of 8-year-old will be able to help you. The role of nutrition and fat loss and energy levels. I wanted you all to guess what is the percentage of the role that the nutrition plays, but I've written it there, so it's about 70%. So what you put at the end of the fork determines most of it. There are 5 pillars. I guess most of us know that exercise is important, sleep is important, managing stress is important, and of course, nutrition plays the biggest role. Now, the fundamentals of nutrition, I think most of our audience here knows macronutrients. They contain carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and micronutrients contain vitamins and minerals. And then there is, of course, fiber and hydration. They all play an important role. Then fundamentals of calories. This is a little of a nuance. Every 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories, and every 1 gram of protein also has 4 calories, but every 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. Carbs are our preferred source of energy. There are 2 sources, the fat and your carbohydrates, that's sugar. Proteins are a building block of our body. And fats too are important because the human mind, you won't believe it, our brain is nearly 60% fat. But fat plays many other important roles. That is only your good fat, not your visceral fat. The good fat, visceral fat is the fat around your organs that's very harmful for us. Whereas the fat just underneath the skin is amazing. It keeps us warm. It helps with, absorbing nutrients that are fat-based nutrients, vitamin A, E, and K. Please, can we mute the mics? So yeah, I was saying the fats also as important. Energy sources, like I said, are 2. There is sugar, comes through all carbohydrates, and that's a preferred source. And the other one is your fat. That comes into play once your sugar is depleted in the body. It's like somebody who's getting a regular income. Okay, you people have a regular income and you're spending your salary all the time, but your savings are kept safe, right? But somebody who doesn't have a regular income is dipping into your savings. So it's like that. So unless, we deplete the amount of sugar that's present in the body, we won't be able to burn fat. Then why quality and quantity of calories matter? Choosing nutrient-dense whole foods helps regulate hunger hormones, stabilizes blood sugar levels, and provides essential nutrients to overall health. In contrast of consuming calorie-dense, low-nutrient foods can lead to overeating and derail our fat loss journey. What I'm trying to say is nutrient-dense. That is when, supposing you take 100 calories of broccoli, okay, and if you take 100 calories of your chips, like, which is more nutrient dense, it's obvious that your broccoli or your spinach, these are, for 100 calories, they give you so much nutritional values. They give you vitamins, minerals, and things like that. Where are the empty calories? So consuming nutrient dense calories, not caloric dense, is important. Why fat loss becomes a challenge during menopause? Even though this is a fat loss, but I took this up so that, because most of us are women here and most of us are about 35. So, most of us at least are in a perimenopausal or menopausal phase. So what happens here? Why it becomes a challenge for us? Because hormonal changes leads to increased fat storage, especially around our abdomen. Metabolic rate slows down and muscle mass decreases, affecting fat loss. Sad, but women lose their muscle mass, their bone density, their metabolism slows down, and all because those estrogen levels drop. And it is the biggest drop in the estrogen level that causes most of the symptoms of menopause. We can, of course, compensate. How do we compensate here? By eating phytoestrogens like soya bean or edamame, which is a baby version of it, soy nuts, tofu, tempeh, miso. Even fruits like plums, pears, apples, grapes, berries, and vegetables like beans, sprouts, cabbage, spinach, and garlic and onions. Guys, especially when your period starts getting irregular, it's very important that you start having these to balance your hormones, So take a note of these, okay? Take a screenshot of this and try to include these food groups, these examples of phytoestrogen, and include them in your diet. It'll make a hell lot of a difference. And then hormonal imbalance due to thyroid. And we're talking about general now again. Another reason why most women put on weight is because of hypothyroidism, a condition where thyroid hormone is low in the body. So we can balance again by doing what? We just have to include two things, that is selenium-rich foods and iodine-rich food. Examples of selenium-rich foods are Brazil nuts, seafood, meat, poultry, and organ meats. And iodine examples that are found are fish such as cod and tuna, seaweeds. I think Chinese eat most of them, but we, I think, can go for shrimps. Shrimps being my favorite, and dairy products. And if nothing else, iodized salt. My house, we always buy iodized salt. So by balancing your hormones, you're halfway there. People tend to, hypothyroidism is a condition, again, mostly in women, and especially after pregnancy. So you can balance this by just including these two, elements, that is your iodine and your selenium. Since we dealt with this, now let me tell you the key principles for fat loss. Of course, calorie deficit, but then again, fewer calories than you burn. That is, if you're sedentary, obviously you have to consume fewer calories. But if you are very active, like maybe me, I work out 5 times a week and I walk about an hour a day. So then you can consume more calories. So obviously you have to consume fewer calories than you burn, and to be in that fat burning stage. Then we discuss the nutrient density, focus on vegetables. So nutrient dense examples are vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats, and preserving your muscle mass, like I said, most women tend to, like most women, but you can keep it up, yeah? So tend to lose muscle and bone density as we age. So what can you do about it? You can increase your protein intake and do resistance training. What is resistance training? It's a strength training, basically, lifting weights, lifting your own body, and resistant bands, and sometimes even body weight exercises that creates a resistance in your muscles. So your muscles become bigger and stronger. So from there on, one way of reducing your calories, people are like, okay, you said reduce calories, but I'm hungry all the time. What do I do? And things like that. One interesting way and which I follow myself is intermittent fasting. So obviously, for it to be effective, you have to fast at least 12 hours. I fast anything between 14 to 16 hours. What happens? Caloric deficit is just one of the benefits of intermittent fasting. As your window of eating is reduced, automatically you reduce your caloric intake. Increases what other benefit? It increases your insulin sensitivity. So this is very good for diabetics. And there's a very interesting study done about intermittent fasting. That is a return of breast cancer. There's people who are already diagnosed with it. And you tend to, like most people, tend to get their cancers back if they're not careful. But people who fast, it's minimized by 70%. So if you take 10 ladies who had breast cancer, got treated, got rid of it, 70% of those ladies didn't get back the breast cancer because they started fasting. What's more, it increases your longevity and your brain function. So, and it also increases dopamine because the GABA transmitters in your brain are also activated. It goes into autophagy because intermittent fasting, it's very close to my heart and I can talk all day about it. But for this purpose, it helps you reduce the caloric intake. And there may be people who will say, I can't fast, and we'll take questions after that as to why you can't fast and what you can do about it. So we already dealt, like I said, 3 factors. You have to up your protein intake, you have to do your nutrient-dense foods, and then you have to reduce calories. These are the factors, main factors as to how you can reduce fat in your body. Like we said, high amounts of vitamins, minerals, and other beneficial nutrients relative to their calorie content. Examples, I said, are dark leaf vegetables like spinach and berries, salmon, sweet potato, compared to 100 calories of spinach, which gives you iron, calcium, fiber. The 100 calories from your junk food has no nutrients. So please be mindful. Protein, the fat loss hero. Yeah, it's become very famous now. Everybody, even the kids, know that protein is so important. And studies keep changing, and the latest research says that protein is very, very, very important. Protein keeps you full, supports muscle retention and also building, and burns more calories even while you're digesting. Like when you eat carbs, you digest a certain amount of calories, but when you're digesting protein, it takes much more effort for your body to digest protein. So as you're eating also, you burn more calories. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. Examples of non-veg are, of course, everybody knows eggs, fish, chicken, but vegetarian options. People mostly like, what do I eat? I'm a vegetarian. Well, you can eat chickpeas, paneer, tofu, quinoa, and many more options. This doesn't come in the fat loss category, the collagen. But I thought since we are all women and we all need to take care of these 3 important things in our body, that's our joints, our skin, and our hair, I thought I'll just brief you a little about collagen that also depletes after the age. It starts depleting from 30, 35 itself. So collagen drops in our body as we age, our skin loses its elasticity and starts to wrinkle and sag. Joint starts hurting. People with knees, oh, my knees are hurting, my palms, my joints are hurting, and things like that. And hair loss and breakage occurs. What is collagen? It's a type of protein we need to double up on to support the health of our skin, joints, and hair. So basically, it's an animal protein. So I will give you some examples of collagen. Vegetarian sources, there aren't any vegetarian sources, but our body, if you eat this, will help synthesize your collagen. Like it helps boost the synthesis of collagen in your body. And that especially there must be so many vegetarians here, and they're like, what do I do? Like you can take supplements, or you can have something like berries, citrus fruits, bell peppers, and garlic. This will help you synthesize. And the non-vegetarian sources, of course, bone broth. I make it at least once a week. I can't tell you how important this is for your bones, for your joints, for your ligaments, and your skin and everything. Bone broth, guys, prioritize it. Poultry, fatty fish, shellfish, and egg whites. All this has collagen. I went a little off track here just to bring awareness among you all. Like we said, 3 things are important. We have to, take in fewer calories than we, burn. And then we have to up our protein, and we have to eat nutrient dense foods. And then also I said that if you have hormonal imbalances, how you should balance those hormonal imbalances so that you can lose your fat. So having covered that, now we move on to why energy levels will fluctuate. Okay. Nutrient deficiency can cause fatigue, dysfunctional thyroid, which we already mentioned. Hormonal changes, what they do, they disrupt our sleep, increase the stress like cortisol, and affects metabolism. Okay, so blood sugar imbalances, poor dietary choices, all this causes for our energy to slump. So we keep saying energy, I don't have energy, I don't have energy. Nutrient deficiency, let's take this first. Okay, always test for vitamin D, iron, calcium, and your thyroid. Eat a balanced meal and sleep well. Eat magnesium-rich foods in order to help you sleep, okay? And eat iron-rich foods to avoid anemia, a major cause of fatigue. Calcium-rich food for your bone density, and it's also been researched that the energy levels and balances for people who have more obese, you have to intake more calcium. Make sure you're not consuming coffee or tea too close to your mealtime. So what happens, it inhibits especially your iron absorption. And the other way you can increase is whenever you're having iron-rich foods, please have it with vitamin C. This will help you absorb. And what doesn't help you absorb is having coffee and tea too close. Abhi khana kha rahe hain, abhi se chai chahiye. And this will, inhibit your, absorptions, most nutrients. Yeah, so be careful there. So nutrient deficiency is one of the biggest reasons why you feel tired all the time. My daughter was like, she could hardly, she would get up so tired all the time. And when we tested, her iron levels were really low and her vitamin D was low. Vitamin D especially is very low in Dubai. You say, "Arey, idhar to bahut sunshine hai, it's shining all the time." But we are all shy of that sunshine, isn't it? We are mostly indoors. We go in the car to the malls, to the offices. We avoid the sun like crazy. So that's exactly why our count is low in vitamin D. So that's the main cause of fatigue. I said vitamin D, iron deficiency, calcium as we age, and thyroid. Okay. And now I'll give you a few examples of iron-rich foods: vegetarian sources, spinach, lentils, chickpeas, tofu, and fortified cereals. I would not go for cereals, but if you can get it through other sources, please do. And like I said, please test your iron levels, your vitamin D levels, your calcium levels, and your thyroid levels. Non-vegetarian sources are lean red meat. Again, I avoid that. Chicken liver, turkey, fish. Okay. And now going to magnesium. Like I said, magnesium helps you sleep. Okay. So magnesium-rich foods, it's not only for sleep, even for your bone density and for even relieving your constipation, and also for your muscles. So, but we are here talking about energy levels. In order for us to have great energy levels, we need to sleep and rest well. So, vegetarian sources of magnesium are nuts, almonds and cashews, seeds like pumpkin and chia, spinach, dark chocolate, and avocado. The last two are my favorite. Almost every single day I have a cube of dark chocolate and I have half an avocado. Calcium-rich food, like I can't tell you how important calcium is. Most of you will suffer from osteoporosis. It's not in our hands, guys. So yes, of course, your lifestyle matters, but sometimes it's heredity also. So please have calcium-rich foods. Vegetarian sources are dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt. Yeah, I know your children also will tell you about that. Fortified plant-based. But how many of us will actually make sure we're eating all of this? That's important. We don't know most of these things, but be accountable. Make sure oh, my energies are slumping. What's happening? So do those tests, see where you're lacking, and otherwise also try to include these things. Non-vegetarian sources are canned fish with bones, sardines and salmons. Oh, none of us like them. I don't know if any of you do, but I generally don't like sardines. But sardines are packed with vitamins and minerals and calcium, especially if you have them with bones. Vitamin D rich foods, like we said, like how in Dubai, especially, we have low levels of vitamin D. So vitamin D are fortified dairy products. Like now, if you go in the shelves, it says it's fortified with vitamin D, so it will help you. Fortified plant-based milk for people who are suffering with lactose intolerances and things like that. They go for almond milk and oat milk and things like that. Mushrooms, believe me, I love mushrooms. They are so good in reducing your anxiety, helping you feel calm, and of course, it's rich in vitamin D. So most of us, like I said, are deficient in it. And cod liver oil and egg yolks. So try to eat your egg as a whole, because egg white has collagen and egg yolk has vitamin D, vitamin K. It's again a superfood, unless you have high cholesterol levels, because then you have to watch your eggs. But I still eat about 2 eggs every 3 days. The role of balanced meal. So in order for us to, lose fat, having a balanced meal is very, very important. So a balanced meal includes proteins, fiber, healthy fats, and complex carbs. So there is an example shown here. A bowl of quinoa. If you don't like quinoa, you can go for brown rice. You can go for, your ragi rotis, your bajra rotis, your jawar rotis, which is what I do. I'm not a big fan of quinoa. So you can have brown rice, and many options are there. And grilled salmon. Salmon, again, I'm not very fond of, but of course, it's very nutrient dense. Omega-3 fatty acids, you can get them through your walnuts and your flax seeds and other things. And of course, other forms of fishes that are fatty fishes. And avocado, I said it's my favorite. Olive oil. Please use olive oil as a good fat. But only doesn't have a high smoking point. So please use it as a dressing or for stir fries and things like that. Go for avocado oil if you want to do deep fries. But our desi ghee is best. So that brings me to the end of the presentation. And now I think Radia can see if somebody has any questions. We'll answer their questions.
Fatima, that was a lovely, informative session. We got to know so much in details about the different macronutrients and all. So I think now we can have an open discussion wherein the audience, the attendees, if they have any queries or doubts, they can just ask.
So guys.
Yes, everyone, Miss Fatima is all yours now. Any questions, we can just pour in.
Yeah, hi Fatima, this is Sudha here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session.
Thank you. I hope it brought some awareness. My job is...
Yes, absolutely. So I just wanted to know, like you have mentioned about the oil, right? Olive oil or the other oil. How about like using it alternate days, or how do we use it, like switch? Because as you mentioned, like olive oil doesn't have a very high,
cooking point.
Cooking point.
Ghee, but desi ghee again is very high in calories and it's saturated fat. So peanut oil for us desis, but always combine it with other oils, like even your organic grass-fed butter is a good option. But these are saturated. Coconut oil is a very good option, but again, we have to be very careful with these because it has saturated fat, and especially if your cholesterol is over 200, be careful and observe some caution. Mixing it up, like, coconut oil, but it has, something like monochain triglycerides, so it's very good. MCT oils are great for us, but again, with caution. So if you're deep frying during Ramadan and things like that, peanut oil and avocado oil, go for avocado oil. It has a high smoking point and has omega-3.
Somebody is asking, what about mustard oil?
Yeah, actually, I was about to ask you that.
It has some flavor in it. Yeah, but most Punjabis use mustard oil. It creates heat in the body also. Mustard is good, but then again, it can't be used in many flavorings. Like, it has its unique flavor. So I would go in for avocado oil or peanut oil, which have less smells in them.
Again, avocado oil, olive oil.
Yeah. It's only for your Olive oil for your stir fries, and
Yes.
for your, it has a low smoking point. So stir fries basically, and also for your salads.
Dressing.
Sprinkle them.
Yes.
Yeah, and Fatima, even I think the oils depend on the regions also, right?
Yeah.
The coastal regions can have that mustard oil and
Yeah, most
spice.
Punjabis, use, and most Keralite use coconut, but they must be coconut oil is not very safe. It is safe, but not very, because of the saturated fats. I'm also, my favorite snack is I take coconut chunks and I keep popping it in my mouth, like whenever I feel very hungry. Healthy fats are satiating. So instead of thing, but again, like I said, it gives you,
Moderation is the key. Yes.
moderation is the key. Yeah. But instead, go for flax seeds, chia seeds, and things like that as snacks, like and nuts. They're also good. Healthy fats, but again, they're very dense in calories. We spoke about how dense calories,
Yes.
but here they're dense in calories and dense in nutrients. So this is a win-win. But for people who are managing their weights, for people who are struggling with their weights, don't go overboard with nuts and seeds and things like that.
Now, Subra, you can ask your question. I think
Yeah, Fatima, because you concluded with the nuts part. There's always this dilemma going whether we need to soak the nuts, like especially the walnuts, or
Yes.
we should have it like directly. Please throw some light on nuts, almonds, and walnuts, please.
Yeah, it's usually bio individuals. I can eat most nuts without having to soak, but there is something called as a phytic acid, in it. And people with even little digestive issues cannot handle them. They'll get gas and bloating and things like that. So always soak them, throw the water, and eat. If you are someone who doesn't have an easy digestion because of the phytic acid, even your chana, even your lentils like chana dal and rajma, your lobe, all of those have phytic acid in it, guys. All have to be soaked overnight, especially for people who are having issues. Put some hing in it when you're cooking also. But for nuts, of course, you soak it overnight, throw the water, and then peel it also, because the skin, this was done so that to avoid, for their own safety, basically, to avoid other animals from eating them, like the plant's way of warding off, like they want to live longer, so they produce these harmful things so that they can keep the enemy away.
I just
Well,
wanted to know about the walnuts. Even
Yeah,
walnuts we need to
even
soak?
walnuts, yes. Almonds,
Okay.
especially, even walnuts. Even though the
Okay.
inside, the coverings are, walnuts are protected, even all almonds, if you see all that, but their skin has that. So that, because most animals can crush it, right? So that's why the phytic acid is on the outer layer, and it has to be soaked to eliminate it, and it makes it easy for your digestion.
Oh,
Yeah, hi,
thank
Miss
you.
Fatma. I'm Rania here. To be honest, now
Yeah.
Ramadan is coming, right? And that is true that we will eat pakoras. It's no joke, but maybe once a week. So I just want to ask you.
To tell you the truth, I'm extremely fond of pakoras also.
I
But
know all of
yeah,
us.
all Indians are, isn't it? Ramadan, everybody's sitting on the table. We all want to do it. But if you ask me through health point of view, again, if you're frying them at home, frying them in good oils, you can have 2, 3 pakoras, but don't do it every day, my dear.
Of course.
But if you're getting it from
Which
a
oil
vendor
you say?
outside who's reusing his oils and all that, you're just asking for trouble. There's no magic here. If you're going to eat pakoda for Ramadan, and if you're getting your pakodas from some vendors who will just sell it for 2 dirhams or something, then you're in for trouble if you're
No, I
eating it.
prefer to make at home once a week. But which oil will be the safer to frying the
Avocado
pakora?
oil, peanut oil, use that. Coconut
Correct.
oil also you can use once a week, no problem.
Okay.
But
How
coconut
about the
oil,
desi ghee? How about the desi ghee if you fry the pakora?
desi ghee, yeah, it has a good smoking point. But that much desi ghee, and then will you throw all that desi ghee out?
Yes. No, we can
Yeah.
mix with the oil, I think. Oil
You
and then
can
desi
mix it.
ghee.
Yeah, you can mix and use. Yes, desi ghee is beautiful for your skin, for your hair. It has got something called butyrate, which is very good for your gut. Desi ghee is a blessing, but again, it's high in saturated fat, high in calories. It's very caloric dense, my dear. So mix it with other oils, like and use it.
Thank you.
And avoid reusing the oils. So use smaller, your kadai should be small, and try and throw the oil after you use it. Try and throw it, but I know how difficult all that is.
Yes.
Don't have your pakoras immediately. First, start with your a nice drink. Go soak your chia seeds and keep, okay, for your Ramadan. Don't go for Ruah Afza. Don't. It's very, very filled with sugar. Go for lemon juice, okay, or apple cider vinegar. And if you like the flavors, with some Himalayan pinch of salt. And dates, of course, will give you the fiber. They have rich in iron, rich in other vitamins. Don't go overboard. Again, if you're a diabetic, it's very high in sugar, but it will replenish your having 2 dates with one warm, semi-warm glass of soaked chia seeds with lemon juice is the best way to start. And after that, slowly, having some soup, lentil soups, your chicken soup, all that. Slow it down so that by the time you can't eat more than 2. You get me?
Exactly. No, I do make soup every day before the means like iftar, fatur.
We make compulsory one soup. It can be a chicken soup, lentil soup,
and then pray and then eat.
Exactly. That also is a very good idea. Finish your maghrib and then come back. And by the time, like, your senses are like, I want to eat everything on the table. I want those samosas. I want those bhajis. You won't be like that. Yeah, you won't be like that.
Is soup filling?
Absolutely filling. Absolutely filling.
It's very, I think, important to start with the soup.
It's rich in your fiber. Depends on what you put in the soup. Don't go for liquid soups. Go put some lentils in it. Like, South Indians must be familiar with ash, right? Put some veggies in your ash. I don't know how many South Indians are here. We eat something called as ash, like, just make it fiber rich, make it protein rich, your soup. And the fiber will fill you and satiate you, definitely. 100%.
You can put it in beans and then cut vegetable and then, make the soup.
Yeah, flavoring it with cucumbers, with pudina drinks, and you don't have to make them sweet. If you do, please try and use stevia. It's one of the best sweeteners. Don't go for artificial sweeteners. Go for monk fruit. There's another sweetener, which is also from a natural fruit. So monk fruit or stevia, and keep your calories also low. And chanch is one of the best. Like, you can put in some jeera, some pepper, and some salt, and have it. It's it gets you cooling your body and refreshes you. There's protein in it. And one of my favorite would be chach. Like, that's what is a chanch, right? Your buttermilk, yeah. And then, of course, your pudina drink with lemonade, and you can. What I do is put some cucumbers and some pudina and some lemon and let it soak. And then it's more flavoring and more easy to consume than plain boring water, right? Yeah.
And also, I wanted to know that how much water should an
8
individual drink?
glasses. It's very, very challenging to drink 8 glasses of water, but we need 8 glasses. So immediately after you open your fast, 1 glass, and even though it's going to interfere with your digestion, because half an hour before is what you're supposed to take. But we can't take the protocol, because first and foremost, you need to hydrate your body. And you can also hydrate your body with fresh fruits like kalingra, the watermelon, oranges. These are also hydrating fruits, cucumbers. You don't really have to drink your glasses. These are they already hydrate you. So, but yeah, having at least 8 glasses of water will help you. But if you have to choose fruits, choose water-rich fruits. Okay, like watermelon and cucumbers and oranges. Yeah, melons. Rock melon is not so rich in water, but usually watermelon, one of the best fruits you can have to keep you hydrated. If you're tired of drinking water, abhi nahi hota, abhi itna hi time hai, aur pani nahi piya jata, then you can opt for these also.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you so much for everyone who joined, and thank you, Alia Baji, for giving me this opportunity and to just bring in some awareness and to the ladies and helping them out. Thank you, Nadia, for coordinating. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really a very awesome session, Fatima. Yes. And there is already one query in the group. So whenever you're free later on, you just have a look and please respond to her in the group, so everybody is aware about that.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Really, really grateful for you to give in your precious time and
I'm also very grateful.
Knowledge for the betterment of the health of our women folk.
Absolutely.
And I have to